because Diablo and I have probably sat on stage together a zillion times at this point, but we've never talked about Thank You for Smoking. I'm used to us coming up and having a ready-to-go shtick about Juno.
Unfortunately, our rehearsed shtick would probably be totally inappropriate.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, the first time I met Kimya Dawson.
We've done that enough.
No.
Now this is my time to grill you.
All right.
A fresh question.
Hit me.
This was your first feature film.
Yep.
Tell me how you came to be passionately involved with the book and what happened.
So in the late 90s, a woman gave me a copy of this book. A woman who actually later went to prison. But she gave it to me, and when she gave it to me, she said,
"Okay, how'd that happen?
Why'd you go to prison?"
Yeah.
It's actually really funny. The Drexel scandal, the junk bond scandal. Well, her boss was a guy who basically was nearly he almost went to prison, but didn't during that scandal. And she was a really smart woman, and she went to work for him, and then she started extorting money from him, and then she went to jail.
Oh my God. That's great.
So she gave me the book. She said, "This is a book. This was written for you." And I opened the book and I read the first page, and she was right. It was love at first sight. I read the first line, and I instantly fell in love with Christopher Buckley and Nick Naylor.
This book had been floating around for a bit, right?
Yeah. I love it. I identify it as this is the story I want to tell. It will identify me as who I want to be as a filmmaker. And I started making short films with the intention of, if I make the right short film, I'll get to make Thank You for Smoking. And I made that short film, and I got an agent. He said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to make Thank You for Smoking." And it wasn't like, I want to make these kind of films. I want to make this film. And he researched it, and he said, "Well, it's going to be tough. Mel Gibson owns the rights. He bought this with the intention of starring and directing. And he's had it for about a decade." And
Mel Gibson was like, "You can have it, sugar tits."
That was basically the conversation. He said, "No, I'm not going to do that joke." But so I went to meet with this company, and they had lots of drafts written, including a version by Roger Avery where, like, people's homes were blowing up and shit, and no, seriously, it was like the J.K. Simmons character was finding people who were trying to prosecute against big tobacco and blowing up their homes. It was weird. And I went in and I pitched a version of the movie. Over the weekend I wrote 30 pages, I submitted it on spec and said, "This is what I want to do." They hired me, I wrote the script, and I turned that in. They all loved it. Mel called me from his plane to tell me how much he liked the script. He called me from a plane, and we talked for like a half hour, and 15 minutes were about why he liked the script, and 15 minutes were about why digital filmmaking would revolutionize the industry. And did I want to accompany him on a trip to Skywalker Ranch to watch the new Star Wars film? An invitation that never came to fruition. Seriously. And then, I want to see Attack of the Clones. So then I thought, oh, this is easy, you know. I wrote a script, Mel likes it, I'm going to make a movie. And for 5 years, nobody wanted to make this movie. Everyone turned it down. You know, it was like, why isn't the ending more liberal? Why doesn't Nick Naylor go to work for the Red Cross? Why is there a kid in this movie? I think it was every bad question. And I just directed commercials for 5 years until one day I got a call from an internet millionaire, the guy who created PayPal. And he said, "I have a lot of money. I share the same politics. I want to make your movie." Wow. And he wrote a check and we made Thank You for Smoking.
Awesome. I find it interesting that nobody has ever brought this to your attention, that nobody smokes in the film.
You were the first to notice the envelope. Ever the keen eye. Yeah, nobody smokes in the movie.
And you make it a policy of yours to never depict people smoking in your films, and I'd like to know why that is.
I've made 2 movies.
No, you know what? Oh, you can laugh. We've discussed this. You're not into it.
All right. On this film in particular, I didn't want people smoking because I thought if you saw people smoking in this film, then you would presume I was making a judgment call on cigarettes. You would either think I was trying to make it look disgusting, or I was trying to heroize it. And for me, this movie was never about cigarettes. It was a movie about talking. It was a movie about political correctness. It was about freedom. And it's a movie that could have been about liquor, or guns, or abortion, or religion, or whatever you want. I mean, that's not the point. So to show people smoking, there's so few people smoke in movies these days that if I had people smoking, first of all, I would have had to have a lot of smoking, and then that's all you'd be thinking about instead of listening to them talk, which is what this movie was about. As far as other films go, nah, unless I find it really, really necessary, I see no reason to show cigarettes. I think cigarettes are stupid. I don't understand why anyone would smoke cigarettes. They're dangerous, they cause cancer. Why would you smoke? It's just idiotic. It's not that look, I'm not, Macy's character. I don't want to go ban cigarettes from movies, but I just don't see any reason to show them.
What about cheese?
Cheese is very, is terrifying. As you'll notice, there is no cheese eating in either
Cheese is delicious.
Well, cheese serves a purpose. You look cool when you eat cheese.
In terms of casting, did you have Aaron Eckhart in mind when you wrote the script, or honest,
No.
level with me?
No.
Level with me. I know you were thinking of somebody when you wrote the script.
I didn't know who Aaron Eckhart was when I wrote the script.
Well, who are you thinking
I wrote the
about?
script in 2000, and he had barely made In the Company of Men at that point. Who was I thinking of when I wrote? I basically was thinking about Tom Cruise because it was supposed to be the anti-Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
I mean, Jerry Maguire was kind of was the template for this film. What if Jerry Maguire sold cigarettes? And the whole opening monologue is an inverse version of the opening monologue of Jerry Maguire, which I think is like one of the best openings of all time in cinema history.
I agree.
But I haven't seen a lot of movies, so for me.
You're like, I've seen like Jerry Maguire.
I've seen like Jerry Maguire,
Kangaroo Jack.
Big Trouble in Little China. And out of those two, Jerry Maguire's got a fucking great opening. He doesn't have a guy's head blown up, but...
So great opening.